Alright, it's the guy with the white shirt, and I just woke up, and you can see that I most likely was laying on my right side. So, let me get back to my white shirt. I just went outside with my cat. I worked a double shift today, or yesterday, at work. And so as soon as I got home, around 10:30 last night, so that was from 5 in the morning, actually 6:30 in the morning when I woke up, till 10 o'clock last night. I did have a break in between, like an hour or two, in which I came home and actually slept. And then I got off last night and came home and immediately went to sleep. So my dream was basically I was back in the military, and I was working at Walmart. And that's funny how dreams are like that sometimes. And I was going through, and it had a little bit to do with me closing at work last night, just doing things. But I was going through the store and I was looking at stuff and turning things off and checking prices on stuff and checking out merchandise that I hadn't seen in the store before as I was going along. And I came upon a couple of employees who were gathered around talking with a gentleman. He was older. In the dream, he was older. He had on some overalls, like he worked out on a farm or something like that. But not necessarily saying that everybody who wears overalls works on a farm. So, as I walked up on the group, a discussion has started with what this guy believed, and I disagreed with him. I'm not sure the conversation, what it all was, but what I remember is that he challenged me to what I thought of the universe as a whole and how everything worked and operated. And I began to explain to him about, well, let's start with the sun and how helium crashes together, and our hydrogen crashes together. Well, maybe it's helium. It's one of the two. And I just can't think right now. But within the dream, I do believe I was saying that helium crashes together and creates the heat, the light, and everything within the sun. And as I began to explain this, the guy in my dream, we'll call him Overall. I'm going to call him Coverall. I don't know why, but Overall guy was shaking his head no. And as I continued on to explain how life was, as far as light coming down, and had a little to do with thermodynamics, and how it came down and affected the plants, and plants grew, and how animals ate the plants and things like that, and that basically that energy was passed on. And the guy kept on shaking his head, so I stopped. I said, "Look, apparently whatever I'm saying, you don't think is true. You have some other belief." And the guy said that I was wrong, and that his God had created everything in its way instantly when he created it, the universe, which has to do with any religion, because it's all about their God and how their God created the universe and created man. It turned out that while he was visiting the store I was working at, Walmart, which I don't work at Walmart, apparently he was there with quite a few other people. Now, even though I was in the military, I just had some chocolate milk too. I was in the military and working at Walmart, which I don't know why, but that's how dreams go. Apparently he got upset when I told him, "Fuck your religion." And he went up to some political person. And then we see that a lot with religion. They get involved in politics and things like that. And immediately I was informed by my chain of command, because it switched over to a more military type dream. I was informed by my chain of command as at that moment I was no longer in the military. No matter how many years I had put in, I was gone. Now, one of the people I'm still friends with, he was in the dream. Well, I consider we're still friends. Just on Facebook. He actually was one of my first sergeants while I was in the military. He currently lives down in Tallahassee, Florida area, and is retired military, and seems like he's having a pretty good time. Rides motorcycles, shaves his head, and if he watches this videos, he knows that I'm talking about him, because he would always, in his safety briefs on a Friday, about if you got a DUI over the weekend, he would come and punch you in the throat, and then make you walk from the MP station all the way back to the barracks or wherever you live, because he was not giving you a ride. You were not riding in his vehicle. He didn't care. You got a DUI, you were done. So in my dream, he came to me, and he has a particular way of speaking and everything, and even when he's against something, or against something he's been told by the command that he has to do when he comes down, the way he speaks and the way he talked while in the military and actually working with him was actually within the dream, and I understood that he was sympathetic to what I was saying, or what I had said to the person, of fuck your religion. And the conversation between myself and the first sergeant was basically my freedom of speech was affecting my thoughts on the freedom of religion. So basically, two of my constitutional rights were being pushed down upon him while in the military. Now, within the military, I can tell you right now, you have no rights. It's basically, that's how it works. You have no freedom of speech. You do have freedom of religion. So quickly, this spread throughout the battalion, and in my dream, I just laughed about it. I grabbed all of my stuff, and there was going to be a formation, so it had to be like a Friday, because everybody was excited to get off work and leave. Kind of like I was last night at work. So everybody started gathering together. They couldn't believe what they had heard, that I was no longer in the military because of what I had said. And I was being told to go home. And then within my dream, I was quickly thinking of today's date of what it actually was. May 4th, May the 4th be with you, but now we're on May 5th, so that time has passed. But I was thinking within my dream that I had so many days before the end of the month. My last paychecks were coming and things like that. So I was I was quickly trying to think of a way how I would be moving back to Florida, most likely, which is where I'm originally from. So I thought about where I had to call my mom and let her know that I was going to come back, most likely stay for her a week or two until I got on my feet. Within my dream, I had already done my amount of years also to receive retirement, and so therefore I was going to get my retirement and things like that. I was going to get everything that I get right now, and so I already knew that financially I was going to be okay. I didn't really need a job. If I got a job, it was going to be for fun, enjoyment, and speaking my mind. If I wanted to with customers, I was going to be able to joke with customers and things like that, basically like I do now. I'm leaving, and everybody within the battalion knows that I'm capable of doing this. So I had a mix of military and my current job, and I don't know where Walmart comes in this, honestly. I haven't been to Walmart in like 2 weeks now. So within the Walmart Army Battalion, I guess, I was being approached by other commanders and other first sergeants asking me what happened, and I told them and how I thought that this was wrong, what was happening to me, and they all agreed. And every last one of them was all about drawing up some paperwork to get it so that I came to their company. The last commander and first sergeant approached me, I remember, because when they came to me, the commander was like, hey, we're having a PT test tomorrow. Yeah, Walmart having a PT test tomorrow. And can you pass the PT test? And I explained to him that no, I actually cannot, depending on the way you look at it, because I have a permanent profile where my left knee and, my right knee, where I can't run anymore because I had surgery on it sometime back. I hyperextended it, and from that I broke some of the bone. I roughed it up pretty bad, when he got to the end, the last first sergeant commander told me that I would have to most likely apologize to this person and to the individual. And I told them, fuck you, I'm not doing that. I am now a civilian as of 1 hour ago. I don't freaking care. Basically the attitude I have now. Anyways, stick to your guns. You don't have to go out of your way to tell everybody what you believe or what you think, whether it's being agnostic, whether it's being atheist, whether it's just being spiritual, or whatever it may be is that you believe in. You don't have to give in any way, shape, or form to anybody else as far as their beliefs when it comes to them trying to influence you to say or do certain things. For anybody else out there that was watching this that is all about their religion, I'm happy for you. I think that's great that you have faith in that, blind faith. Some of you may even point to, no, it's not blind faith, that you, within your book, you can actually prove that your God exists, and that is not logical at all. For me to write a book, or have a couple other people write a book and say, because it says within my book that this happens, or this happened a certain way, that's the truth. And just because there's towns that currently exist, that there's presidents that currently exist, there's leaders of other countries that currently exist that I may put in my story, does not make my story true in any way, shape, or form. I can write a book very simply, very easily, and talk about states, cities, whether it be Kansas City, Jacksonville, Florida, Los Angeles, Seattle, Washington, no matter what city. And let's say those cities are destroyed. Not all the ones in America, but let's say around the world. Moscow, Beijing, whatever it may be. And let's say 1,000 years from now, people question my book if it's true or not, and so people start digging and they start finding these places that I talked about within my book, and through other scriptures that are written down in my book, you're able to find that in other history writings that these leaders and certain events did actually happen that I talk about. And then I throw in my mumbo jumbo about how my God is the one and true God. And once you make all the connections that this city did exist, this leader did exist, this event did happen, so what this guy is talking about most likely is true. That's I don't believe in that, because the part of religion, the burden of proof, is to actually prove that your God exists, that your God is the one and true only God. And every religion that has ever came into existence has always said that their God is the one and true God of the universe, that created man, that created life, that created time, since it's linear with a beginning to an end. Prove that you're right, not through your scriptures, but through the things that you say that your scriptures tells you to do. For example, like prayer. If prayer works, then what is the amount of people that we need for prayer to talk to your God to make something work? Within a certain religion, Christianity, it talks about even how Thomas, one of the disciples of Christ, did not believe that he had rose from the dead. And that the only way that he was going to believe as a true follower of Christ is that if he actually appeared to him to prove that he had rose from the dead, and that he could touch the wounds of Christ. So if Jesus was willing to do this, to appear before Thomas, to prove to him that he was back from the dead, that he had died, went to hell, suffered for 3 days, came back. He was willing to do this for somebody who totally believed him before. Why can't he do it to, or for, everybody else right now that does not believe in him? I mean, he is God also, right? From what I'm told, he is the Son of God. He's his own Son. Very interesting if you think about it scientifically. But if he was willing to do that for Thomas, and since he is so powerful, that as I mentioned, then you would feel or believe that he would have the capability to appear to everybody now, to settle the matter, to settle it. Everybody around the world all at one time would say, like, yeah, this guy showed up, looked like a hippie. I thought he was trying to sell me drugs or something like that. He started talking about how he was Jesus Christ, regardless of what language. But you know that he was the man. He was the one. So I had a dream tonight, and I just wanted to share it with you, regardless of how long this video may be. Maybe you'll sit through it and actually listen, maybe not. Maybe I should go ahead and add some like music to the background. And then once you get to the video, you'll realize or understand why there is music in the background, if there is, if I decide to put some. But once again, this current commercial, this video, this 4:15 Central Time in the morning infomercial will end once again with Bondo. So like at this point, you know, I appreciate a thumbs up, thumbs down, possibly a comment, things like that. So take it easy, catch you later. E pluribus unum.
Rondo's got what? Thanks, Crave.
Yeah, he's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?